All right, what's good, y'all? So look, let's talk about top 5 Michigan coaching candidates. This is via R.J. Young. Guys that could be poised to be the next coach of Michigan and obviously land a top 10 job in college football. Now, we're going to start with the worst one, and I'm going to go ahead and say hell no. Brian Kelly, hell no. He going to set you back at least 5 to 10 years. Sorry, no disrespect to Brian Kelly, but he ain't the answer at obviously the position, the head coaching job for Michigan. Too much centered around him. No, this is not a good hire for you. I wouldn't do it if I'm Michigan. Move the hell on. I wouldn't do it. Now, Jesse Minter is very interesting, obviously coming from the Chargers. Now, I don't think he's the worst candidate. I just don't know how much of a fit he is, obviously, with the Michigan Wolverines. But we know how elite of a defense that the Chargers have. We've seen it, obviously, on Monday night against the Eagles. They've been doing it all season long. The reason why they're 9-4 on the year, right? They forced like 4 turnovers the other night. I think actually 5 turnovers against the Eagles. He is an elite defensive mind. It just depends if he wants to leave the NFL and potentially come and move up the ranks and go to college, which actually he will move down and be a head coach there. Mentor could easily become, especially if the Chargers go on a run, make an AFC Championship game, he could easily be an NFL head coach. There will be vacancies this year. You can bet your ticket on it. So it just depends if he wants to move from NFL to college. If he beats patient, he definitely could be a target for an NFL team. Next, I'm going to go Matt Patricia. Now, obviously, we've seen him be a head coach with the Detroit Lions. We've seen him be a head coach, obviously, in the NFL. It just, does he want that, right? And the reason I say he's probably one of the worst ones is because he's currently at Ohio State. Now, look, we see defensive coordinators all the time. They'll move spots. They'll move to different teams. But for him to join a rival team of Ohio State, maybe that matters. Maybe that doesn't. It would add obviously intrigue into obviously that rivalry between Michigan and Wolverine, called the game, called obviously one of the best rivalries in college football. But the likelihood of him leaving and going to the neighborhood school, or not neighborhood school, but obviously the big rivalry school, I just don't see it. I don't think the fit is there. I do think he will definitely be obviously a candidate for a key head coaching gig. But for him to go to Michigan just doesn't make sense, especially with the elite defense he has with Ohio State, the number one, I think, defense in the country in terms of total defense, a top ranked rush defense this year. NFL caliber talent all up and down that roster. Arvell Reese, Sonny Styles, Caleb Downs, Caden Curry, so many other players I can go on and on about. Just doesn't feel like it would be the best fit. All right, now we're talking. Now, these two guys I think are elite fits for Michigan. Brian Haynes, obviously of Indiana, he would be the one of the best fits for Michigan. Why? He embodies the Michigan identity. He embodies the Michigan culture. He embodies, obviously, the Michigan embodiment of the whole team. Why do I say that? Because look at what, obviously, Kirk said that he plays a key role in this and getting those players. But look at the level that defense plays for Indiana. Name me how many 5-star, 4-star prospects are on that roster. You can't name too many. That's a credit to, obviously, Haynes and his ability as a defensive coordinator. Now, look, he's not a position coach, but he has to put these guys into the right spot. 2, he has to trust the guys to go to the right spot. And 3, he's getting the most out of this roster. He would do the same at Michigan, and the reason why he embodies that, because think about it, Michigan obviously gets great recruits, but at the same time, what Michigan has been known, they're developing talent at an elite level. You look at, obviously, Sanders still. He was a player they developed at a high level. You look at DJ Turner. He's becoming one of the best cornerbacks in the NFL, along with the Pat Surtain and some of those guys in the NFL now. Michigan has been known for years of producing and developing guys. He would bring that same fold to, obviously, the Wolverines and help them boys develop some of their key pieces and players that are underrated, flying under the radar. He would do that for that franchise, or for that program, I should say. So I think he would be a great fit, great defensive scheme. They can get after you. They blitz, they pressure, they throw different looks. He would be a great fit for them. But the best fit of them all is Glenn Schumann of Georgia. Now, that would be a big blow, obviously, to Coach Kirby Smart and obviously his staff. But remember, this is a guy that's moved up the ranks. Remember, he started off obviously as a linebacker coach. And we know what he's developed, obviously, over the years, right? Roquan Smith. You look at Nakobe Dean. So many guys that are in the league right now that's playing linebacker. Smile Munden. I can go on and on. He's elite at that. And then obviously he ended up moving up from inside linebackers. He ended up moving to co-defensive coordinator. And then obviously he's been defensive coordinator the last few years. And you look at the turnaround of Georgia, obviously towards the end of the season, and Georgia's playing at an elite level. They're one of the top defenses in the country, number 4 in rush defense. Shut down Georgia Tech. Tech had I think 69 yards on the ground, struggled only 9 points. They held Alabama to 7 points. Then he has these young guys playing at an elite level, DeMello Jones. You look at, obviously, Rashawn Dinkins, who look like he's going to be a stud for them. Ellis Robinson's turned into one of the top corners in the SEC. Already got a KJ Bolden. I can go on and on. He would be the perfect fit because he fits really what Michigan is. Smash mouth football, running the football, which is obviously what Georgia is. He don't coach that side of the ball. But you can damn sure guarantee they're going to have an elite defense. And they're going to have a defense that gets after you. That's fast, running to the perimeter and running to the damn ball. And they're going to batter and bruise you the entire game. That is what Glenn Schumann is. You telling me that ain't a Michigan defense? All he would have to hit on is his offensive coordinator to take that offense to another level, to recruit the talent that Bryce Underwood needs if he stays, to recruit the talent that he needs in order to kind of have him flourish and take the next step in his career. Glenn Schumann would be the perfect fit for Michigan, in my humble opinion, if that's something that he wants to do. If the Wolverines are interested in his service and if they want to wait that long, they might move fast on this. Not sure. But Schumann would be an A+ hire, and obviously Haynes would probably be a A- hire. Can't go wrong with either, but it'd be very important for Michigan to stay patient and not rush the process. But those are obviously some pretty good candidates. The last two are supreme. A-, A+. Schumann, you bet your hat you're going to be right back into that college football playoff, and you're going to be contending for a title with Schumann. I see in less than 2 years. So there you have it, y'all. Those are my thoughts on the top 5 Michigan coaching candidates per RJ Young. That's how I would rank them. That's how I would do them if I'm Michigan. And the 2 I would be after is Brian Haynes and obviously Glenn Schumann. That's just me, though.